We have been discussing various verses of Sri Siksastakam for the past few weeks. I'm very sorry for canceling the class last week. This week, we are going to discuss the third verse, Trinadapi Sunichena, the heart of Sri Siksastakam. Before that, let's first offer our respectful prayers to Srila Prabhupada and the Acharyas and to Sri Mahaprabhu. And with their blessings, let's try to understand the important verse, Trinadapi Sunichena, what the various Acharyas are telling about this verse. We are going to see it today. And there will definitely be one more class on this verse, which will discuss the practical application of this verse. So today we are going to see the Acharya Vakya on this verse. Firstly, the Mangalacharna prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine नामश्रेष्ठं मनुमपि शचीपुत्रमत्र स्वरूपं रूपं तस्याग्रजमुरुपुरीं मातुरीं गोष्ठवाटीं राधाकुण्डं गिरिवरमहो राधिका माधवाशां प्राप्तो यस्य प्रतितकृपया श्रीगुरुं तं नतोऽस्मि कृष्णादन्यमजानतक्षणमपि स्वप्नेऽपि विश्वेश्वरे तस्मिन् भक्तिमहैतुकीं विदधतो हृत्काय वाग्भिः सदा श्रीलान् सद्गुणपुञ्जकेलिनिलयान् प्रेमावतारान् वन्दे भागवतानि माननुलवं मूर्ध्ना निपत्यक्षितौ आजानुलम्बितभुजौ कनकावदातौ सङ्कीर्तनैकपितरौ कमलायताक्षौ विश्वम्भरौ द्विजवरौ युगधर्मपालौ वन्दे जगत्प्रियकरौ करुणावतारौ जयतां सुरतौ पङ्गोर्मम मन्दमतेर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदाम्बोजौ राधा मदनमोहनौ नीलाचलनिवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्रसुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः एकेन चक्रमपरेण करेण शङ्खम् अन्येन सिन्धुतनयामवलम्ब्य तिष्ठन् वामेतरेण वरदाभयपद्मचिह्नं लक्ष्मीनृसिंह मम देहि करावलम्बम् आनन्दलीलामय विग्रहाय हेमाभदिव्यच्छ विसुन्दराय तस्मै महाप्रेम रसप्रदाय चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते कृष्णोत्कीर्तनगाननर्तनकला पातो जनीभ्राजिता सद्भक्तावलिहंसचक्रमधुप श्रेणीविहारास्पदम् कर्णानन्दिर्कलध्वनिर्वहतु मे जिह्वामरुप्राङ्गणे श्रीचैतन्यदयानिधे तव लसल् लीलासुधा स्वर्धुनी श्रीचैतन्यदयानिधे तव लसल् लीलासुधा स्वर्धुनी हृद्वप्रे नवभक्तिसस्य वितते सञ्जीवनी स्वागम रम्भे कामतपर्तुदाहदमनि विश्वापगोल्लासिनी दूरान्मे मरुशाकिनोऽपि सरसि भावाय भूयात् प्रभु श्रीचैतन्यकृपानिरङ्कुशमः माधुर्य कादम्बिनी प्रभु श्रीचैतन्यकृपानिरङ्कुशमः माधुर्य कादम्बिनी The first verse of Sri Shikshashtakam explained to us the seven flames of the Sankirtana Yajna, the seven adjectives of the Sankirtana Yajna, the seven wonderful glories of the Sankirtana Yajna. The mood in which Mahaprabhu uttered the first verse was that of Harsha. He knows the problem of the Jivas And then he is very excited, he is very happy, in a mood of harsha, that Sri Krishna Sankirtanam is the fix for all these problems. So his mood is he's very happy that he found a solution for the sufferings of all us jivas. But then in the next verse, Namna Makari Bahuda, he expresses a mood of dainya, helplessness. And though the Lord's names are completely infested, empowered, potent, with all the Shaktis of the Lord, there is a Durdaiva. There is a misfortune on the part of the chanter of the holy names. What is it? That we do not have taste for the holy names. After telling that, he is next telling how do we chant the um, holy names, in what is the adhikara, by chanting the holy names, in what way can we experience all these effects of the Sri Krishna Sankirtanam that we have learnt in the first verse. So this verse, called as the heart of the Sri Siksastakam, explains to us how the names of the Lord have to be glorified. The names of the Lord can be glorified always by a person who has these qualities. Four qualities have been told. So let's first recite the verse. Trinadapi sunicena tarorapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. त्रिनादपि सुनीचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना अमानिना मानदेन कीर्तनीय सदा हरि. Sometimes we hear this verse as Trinadapi sunicena taroriva sahishnuna. So taroriva, tarorapi, both the Patabedas are there, and different acharyas have taken different Patabedas. Some have accepted taroriva, some have accepted tarorapi, and there are special lessons to learn from both the Patabedas. We are going to discuss that in today's class. So to start off with the grammatical part of it, this shloka is in the standard Anushtup Chanda. Anushtup is a chanda which has 8 syllables per each pada. Most of the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam shlokas are all in this chandas. Why do we discuss this chandas part of any shloka is because it helps us recite the shloka correctly. So why should we recite the shloka correctly? Because not reciting the shloka correctly sometimes will lead to wrong meaning of the shloka. For example, like in our Guru Ashtakam, suppose we say, Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado, Yasya prasadan nagati kutopi. The second line, Yasya prasadat, the ya has to be a dirgha. Otherwise, the first line will mean Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado. Guru Maharaj's mercy is the Lord's mercy. If we sing Yasya Prasadad Nagati Kutopi, by Guru Maharaj's mercy, we will end up nowhere. That will be the meaning. But actually, by not getting Guru Maharaj's mercy, we will end up nowhere. Just by a dirgha, the meaning becomes reverse. So by knowing the chandas and reciting the shlokas in the right chandas, though Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardana, whether somebody says Vishnaya or Vishnave, still, Ubhayam tu samam punyam bhavagrahi janardana, but our attempt to do it in a better way is always appreciated by the Lord. So this particular verse is in Anushtup Chanda, just like our standard Bhagavad Gita shloka. Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta utsavaha mamaka pandavas chaiva kimakurvata sanjayas trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. When we recite, then where the long has to come, there will be long. Where there's a dirgha, there will be a dirgha. Where there's a hrasva, there's a hrasva. Lagus and gurus are in place. And that is very important for the right understanding also of the verse. So, and there are many more grammatical details told by Prabhuji. I'm skipping all those. This minimum is enough. So, let's look at the Anvaya and translation of this verse, Trinadapi Sunichena. So let's read the phrases of the words in a particular order. So, Harihi Sada Kirtaniya. Kirtaniya Sada Hari. Harihi Sada Kirtaniya means Hari is worthy of constant glorification. So, thus the Hari has to be constantly glorified. Then, Sunichena api Trinat. One has to feel very low. Sunichena means feel low. Api, even then. Trinada. Trinadapi means even lower than a blade of grass. Trina is a blade of grass. So Hari has to be constantly, Hari is to be constantly glorified. How? By feeling oneself lower than the blade of a grass. Sahishnuna api taroho. More forbearing, more accepting, more what do you say, forbearance is another word for forbearance is tolerant, more tolerant than a tree. And then amanina, devoid of any false pride. I have a great birth. I have great education. I have great understanding. I am very beautiful. I am very knowledgeable. Such things. Devoid of all the pride that is caused by various designations in the material world. Amanina. Manadena, to give respect, all due respect to others according to their position, understanding that they are all residents of the Lord. They are all the Nivasa Sthana of the Supreme Lord. That basic understanding we should never forget. So we should respect every living entity with that. With remembering the presence of Paramatma. Remember, he is the house of my sweet Lord. Or remembering that, we always respect everybody. That is called Manadena. So, Harihi Sada Kirtaniya. One has to always glorify the Supreme Lord, considering oneself, Suni Chena Api Trinath, considering oneself very low than a blade of grass. Sahishnuna Api Taroh, even being more forbearing than a tree. And Amanina, being devoid of false pride, being not being puffed up by various material designations. And then Manadena, by giving all respect to others. We shouldn't expect any respect, but we should always offer respect to everybody. And in this way, one should always constantly chant the holy names. That is the message of this verse. The message seems very simple, but for any sadhaka who has a itcha to become a Vaishnava, this is actually posing a very great challenge. Is it really possible? Is it really possible to be humbler than a blade of glass? Can one be more forbearing than a tree? Let's discuss what the acharyas are telling us about this verse further. So, so one discussion we are going to do is Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena. These four things, are these qualities prerequisites for chanting the holy names? If they are prerequisites for chanting the holy names, do we have any hope? Will we ever achieve these qualities? So, will we ever be able to chant the holy names and attain the results of the holy names? What is the result of the holy name that we are all aspiring for? Prema. The seva in at the level of prema is our ambition. So, everybody will get that doubt, right? Will we ever get these qualities? Can we be so really genuinely humble? So, will I ever chant the holy names in such a way that I will be able to serve the Lord in prema? So, are these qualities prerequisites or are the result of chanting the holy name of the Lord? That we are going to understand from various acharyas' words. So, Hari is so I'm reading the simple standard translation of the verse. So why I'm reading it again and again is because we have to remember this really well. Hari is worthy of constant glorification by one who is lower than a blade of grass, more forbearing than a tree, devoid of false pride, and who gives due respect to all others. So first we are going to see the simple explanation of this verse given by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in his Anubhashya to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Chaitanya Charitamrita was commented by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and these verses are there in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is talking about them. So Trinadapi means Sarva Pada Dalita Guru Bhava Rahitat. So if somebody stands over a blade of grass, the blade of grass is not violent. It does not retort. So one has to take the example of the blade of grass in circumstances when somebody chastises you, or when somebody makes fun of you, or when somebody is correcting you in such situations. So, Sarva Pada Dalita Guru Bhava Rahita Trinadapi. That means one should be humbler even than egoless blade of grass that is trampled upon by others. Then Sunicena, Sarvato Bhavena, Nichena, Prakrita Maryada Rahita Bhava Samanvitena Janena. So Trinadapi Sunicena refers to those people who are completely free from materialistic egoism. I am this. How can he say that to me? So that kind of a thought also they will not get. And then Sahishnuna, Sahanaguna Yuktena Janena. So he says Sahishnuna means one people who are tolerant. Amanina means though personally they are very, very qualified. Personally, that person may be very qualified. He deserves all respects. Though he deserves all respect, the devotee or the chanter of the holy names will not expect any respect. Manadena means the other person has no material qualities also, and he actually does not deserve any respect. Even to such person, seeing the presence of the Lord in his heart, he will offer all respect. Though a person, a devotee, deserves all respect, he is worthy of respect, he will not expect respect. Though the opposite person does not deserve respect, he will always give respect. So they do not see anybody as not deserving respect. That is the quality of a person who can constantly chant the holy names of the Lord. So constantly chanting holy names means adaroshta jihvada ucharaniya. So through even to constantly chant using your lips, tongue, and they're not including the heart. Even to constantly say the holy names using your lips and tongue also, it needs such humility. That is what Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is telling. Hari's nama is utterable by the lips, tongue, etc. at all times, sada, by a person who is completely free from materialistic egoism, humbler even than an egoless blade of grass that is trampled upon by others. Such a person is more tolerant than the tree. Such a person is himself very respectable, but is free from the tendency of showing off. He never shows off. And then instead gives respect unto others, even unto those who are unqualified in all ways. Even to unqualified people, such a person, he is always giving respect. So now let us look at the Pata Vedas. So in Trinadapi Sunichena, Taroriva Sahishnuna, Tarorapi Sahishnuna. Some acharyas have taken the Pata as Taroriva, some acharyas have taken the Pata as Tarorapi. In earlier BBT versions, we Adi Leela, Chetan Chetamrita Adi Leela 17.31. This verse is there. It is there again in Ancha Leela also. But most acharyas have commented on this verse in the Adi Leela itself. So, in the Adi Leela, BBT old editions say Taro Riva. And then in the new editions, we see Taro Rapi Sahishnuna. And there are some Chetan Chetamrita editions published by Bhakti Vinod Thakur and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in the Bengali versions. There we see that it is all Iva, Taro Riva Sahishnuna. And then there is one critical edition by a Mahanubhava called Sushil Kumar De on Padyavali. See, initially, all these verses of Siksastakam were there in Rupa Goswami's Padyavali. It is from there that Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami picked up and put them in his Chaitan Chaitamrita. So the first appearance of the Siksastakam verses is actually in the Padyavali. So in his Padyavali critical edition, Sushil Kumar De has taken Api. Unlike the Iva by the BBT, he has taken the word Api. In Jiva Goswami's Bhakti Sandarbha, Goswami is quoting this verse in Bhakti Sandarbha 269th verse. There he is taking the Pata Api. So we see that many acharyas or many of the standard accepted Pramanik acharyas, some of them have taken the Pata as Iva, some of them have taken the Pata as Api. When we say Iva, tolerant like a tree. When we say Api, tolerant than a tree. So these are the two. Anyway, like a tree is also a far dream for us. So we can start off with like a tree and slowly try to attempt for than a tree, no? More tolerant than a tree. So, so Krishnadasa Kaviraja Goswami in his Chaitanya Charitamrita, he is explaining what it means to be Trinadapi Sunichena. Trina haite Nicha Hana Sada Labe Nama. One should chant Harinama while being humbler than a blade of grass. Taru Sama Sahishnuta Vaishnava Karibe. These are the two verses he is using. He is using in the Chaitanya Charitamrita before explaining the Trinadapi Sunuchena verse. So a Vaishnava should practice forbearance similar to the tree. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is telling one should be humbler than a blade of grass, and one should have forbearance similar to a tree. So for in case of Trinadapi, he is using api, and for Taro river, he is using Taru Sama, means equal to. That is the um, pata he has taken. Amanina is devoid of false pride. Manadena, he gives all respect to others. Such a person is qualified to always glorify Hari. So what is meant by glorifying Hari? Govinda is always Kirtaniya by such a person. One who has such qualities, such person has to always glorify Govinda, like that. So this is the basic meaning of the shloka given by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in his Anubhashya to the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So let's now look at Veerachandra Goswami's Rasika Rangada commentary. So in his Rasika Rangada commentary, he says, Yato namaitadrisha mahima vadata sada kirtaniyam iti prapte sa Shri Bhagavan tasya mukhyadhikari nirdharana purvaka sada kirtane vidim vidadideti tat krita padyena likhati trinadapiti. So here he is telling that since the glories of Nama are very great. In the previous verse, we have seen Namna Makari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti. So, since the glories of the Nama are so great, it should be always uttered. Why the Nama should always be uttered? Because we have already seen the glories of the Namas. They are all the potencies of the Lord are there in the Nama. The Nama can award us our highest destination. So the Nama has to be always glorified. Why always glorified is not a question. That is answered. That is explained in the previous verse. So in this verse, he is actually telling, determines a person who is the primary candidate for uttering Nama constantly. So to constantly utter Nama, what is the primary qualification of a person? That is being explained in this verse. In this verse called Trinadapi. So he says, this being the case, what being the case that the holy name should always be chanted, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself determines the person who is the primary candidate for uttering Nama constantly. He also gives such a person an instruction of constant utterance. He is telling a person who should utter, who can utter the names constantly, should be like this, like this, like this, like this. Oh, there's a person you find who is having these qualities, then he's telling the person, you should chant the holy names constantly. So one who is chanting constantly is expected to have these qualifications. And then he says, Trinajati kalu namrata swabhavena sada bhumi lagnasti. This Trinas, he is explaining, now he is explaining what it means to be Trinadapi Sunichena. So as a species itself, the grass is very attached to the ground because by its nature, it's humble. Okay. So when someone gives it trouble, it doesn't raise its head and hurt such a person. So by nature itself, that grass is like that. But the devotee is supposed to be humbler than such a grass. Like one should try not to retort back. One should try not to have a vindictive attitude like the Trina. Tarorapi sahishnuna. So how is it somebody wants a fruit on a tree? He will throw a stone. Somebody is actually cutting the branches for timber. And somebody may actually cut the very trunk. Despite of being thrown stones or the branches are being cut, the trunk is being cut. The tree is always benefiting the harmer. No, whoever is actually the who is giving harm, who is actually destroying the tree is also is benefited from the tree. That is what. So the a devotee has to be like the tree. A tree as a species too benefits each and everyone through fruits, flowers, bark, root, etc. When others cut it down, the tree tolerates their offenses. This verse expects one to be like the tree. So and then like means somebody takes advantage of you and then harms you. or somebody learns something from you, and then they show ingratitude towards you, then you shouldn't have a vindictive or a revenge kind of attitude towards anybody. That is the recommendation. And then amanina means, even if even when others disrespect you, you should still respect them, manadena. And such a person who is not having any trace of false pride, they can only glorify Hari constantly. And he's telling that um, kirtaniya, kirtaniya, the word, it has a suffix in Sanskrit called anyar. It means that such a person can glorify Hari. And such a person is meant to glorify Hari. That means if you are not like this, it is difficult for you to constantly glorify Hari. So, this is the Rasika Rangada explanation by Veerachandra Goswami. Then let's look at Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary. From actually, he's quoting from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. He's telling that um, Mahaprabhu is talking to Swarupa Damodara and Ramanandaraya. That conversation Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is quoting here. Hey Swarupa Ramanandau, येन प्रकारेण नामग्रहणं सत्प्रेम सम्पादयति तल्लक्षणं श्रुतम् इति आह त्रिनादपीति अमानिनः मानशून्येन जनेन हरिः सदा कीर्तनीयः अमानित्वं किं तत् उत्कृष्टेपि अपमानित्वं कथिता मानशून्यता. So this is quoted in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu commentary by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So he's telling that, O Swarupa Damodara and Raya Ramananda, here the method of uttering Nama by which one attains genuine prema. So then he uttered the verse Trinadapi Sunichena. Hari is always glorifiable by a person who is devoid of all false pride. What does that mean? To be devoid of pride is to consider oneself lowly, even though one is highly qualified. Even though one is highly qualified, one thinks of oneself as lowly. And then tarorapi sahishnuna tarur yata sarvan upadravadin sahate. What is the nature of such a person? He is just like a tree, tolerating all the offenses committed against it. And it doesn't ask from anyone anything in return. Even if it is drying, it does not beg anyone to water it. So it doesn't ask anybody. So in such a way, a tree gives benefits even to those inimical to one who cuts it. A Krishna Bhakta, however, is better than the tree, for he gives the highest variety of benefit not only to enemies but also one's friends. Such a devotee is constantly thinking about the benefit of others, always thinking of how others will develop genuine taste in Harinama. So only those who are coming to the tree and asking it fruits, hitting it, cutting it, tree is benefiting. But a devotee, he to people who are not coming to him also, he will try to preach Harinama, preach about Krishna, Bolo Krishna, Bhajo Krishna, Koro Krishna Siksha. He is always doing Krishna Siksha. He himself is going. Tree will wait to benefit people until they come to the tree. But Tarorapi Sahishnuna means being more forbearing, being more kind than the tree means a devotee, he himself goes to people to give Krishna. That is what is the explanation given by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura in his commentary. Then there's a Sanmodana Bhashya by Bhakti Vinod Thakura. So Bhakti Vinod Thakura first tells us about 4 qualities that are there. A person who is chanting the holy names without nama aparadas. Actually, along with the second verse, we were actually supposed to discuss all the nama aparadas, but that would be again one elaborate class, so I didn't do it. We all are reading the nama aparadas every day before chanting the 10 nama aparadas. So one who is carefully avoiding these nama aparadas and very sincerely with a humble heart chanting the holy names of the Lord, then these 4 characteristics are seen in them. Bhaktivinoda Thakur tells that the first one is dainya. That dainya is born out of complete detachment from the material objects. We are not attached to any material objects. Because of the detachment from material objects, there is a dainya. Nothing is mine and I belong to Krishna. That feeling comes. And there is daya. Daya Daya is kindness, mercy, that comes because you are not envious towards anyone. A devotee who sincerely chants the holy names, avoiding the nam aparadas, thinks oneself as very lowly because he doesn't have attachment to anything in this world, and then he thinks high of everybody. He does not envy anybody. He thinks everybody is better than him. So because of that, he has a compassion towards everybody. And then there's a complete absence of false pride, amanina. And then he gives all respect to others, manadena. So this Krishna's name is Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. It is a live rasa, no? So when it appears on in the heart of a particular sadhaka, they get detached from all the material things. They actually think I'm actually an atomic jiva. I have nothing to do with this material world, but I am in this situation currently. My present condition is because I'm not sufficiently inclined towards Krishna. So till I achieve my goal of completely being attached to Krishna, I have to somehow put up with this material world. So I will accept these material objects as much as required for my livelihood. That Yukta Vairagya principle is predominantly seen in a bhakta. In which bhakta who is sincerely avoiding the nama aparadas and chanting the holy names, these four qualities, and then this detachment from the material world is seen. So whatever loss or there is some deficiency, there is some dukkha, or there's some happiness because of the knowledge, there is some dukkha because of some deficiency. All these, any situation of lamentation, deficiency, misery, some disease because of old age, or happiness because of some punya, all these he sees as his prarabdha karma, and he will tolerate them. He doesn't become extra happy when there's happiness, and he doesn't get bogged down when there is some dukkha. So he will tolerate all them. This is prarabdha karma. It will get over. Once I develop my inclination towards Krishna, then I don't have to worry about all this. He is always situated in that knowledge. So so he is only praying that when will I attain that pure seva bhava, when will I get that I want nothing but Krishna seva, when will I get that bhava. He is always praying like that. Oh Krishna, oh Gaura, like that they will be thinking that when can I completely only be inclined towards you and nothing else, like that. So thinking in this way, when chanting the holy names, avoiding offenses, they go through all this process of purification of the mind, and they just think, when will I get that pure seva bhava, when will I get that pure seva bhava. That is their only hankering. Some people stay at home with this hankering bhava, continuing to do bhajan. Some people go to the forest. So whether grihe take vane take, the goal is, when will I get that pure servitude attitude, when will I get that pure servitude attitude. So in this mood they are continuing. That is what he Bhakti Vinod Thakur started his Sanmodana Bhasha with. Then he explains very practically that what it means to be non-envious. If you have to give mana dena, if you have to give respect to everybody, you should be non-envious. Only a non-envious person can respect everybody genuinely. So don't be envious of the Brahmanas. So generally, there are so many verses in our Shastra. Sometimes say, some asuras are born as Brahmanas in Kali Yuga, and then everybody is a Shudra in Kali Yuga. What is so great if you're a Brahmana, if you are not worshipping Hari, if you are not, there are some statements in the Shastras which are actually given to tell how glorious a Vaishnava is. But taking that as a pretext, many of us practicing Vaishnavas, what we do, we demean the Brahmanas. We look down upon the Brahmanas. So here Bhaktivinoda Thakur is warning us, don't do that. Krishna is Go Brahmana Hitayecha. Nowhere it is told that all the Brahmanas are Asuras. Somewhere in the Shastra it says that some Asuras have taken birth as Brahmanas. So you cannot take every Brahmana who meets you and call them Asura and demean them. Don't do such offenses. If you are having an envious attitude towards Brahmanas, if somebody is born in a Brahmana family, you respect them. So just because you are not a Brahmana and you got the mercy of a Vaishnava and you are able to practice practice some principles apparently better, you should not look down upon Brahmanas. That is a very big offense. It will affect your Manadena principle. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is very strictly warning us there. And one more warning Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives is don't deride the Devatas. Don't deride the Devatas like Shiva, Indra, Durga, and all. They are all great Vaishnavas. If you deride anybody, they are all also Nivasa Sthanas of your sweet Lord. Your own sweet Lord Krishna is there in their hearts. So by deriding them, whether it is Brahmanas or the Devatas, you are actually insulting the house of your Lord. So the Lord and his Dhamma, the Lord and his Nama, they are all non-different. So to strictly follow the principle of Manadena, please be very careful. Do not be envious of the Brahmanas and do not deride the devotees. These are the two special warnings Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is giving us in the Manadena principle of Trinadapi Sunuche. So now let's look at the elaborate commentary given by Srila Radha Govindanatha on the Trinadapi Sunichena verse. So he actually gives Trinadapi, this verse, he gives two types of explanation. How can one become more humbler than a grass? By thinking how can I think I am no better than the grass? How can I think like that? So he is helping us understand how we can consider ourselves. There is something that the grass is doing and I am not doing. That is, then I can think myself as lower than the grass. So he's explaining to us how grass is superior to us. So Trinadapi. Actually, he first starts with telling that Trinadapi Sunichena. First explanation he gives is the grass is lowly, but you have to be lower than the grass. So how lower than the grass? Suppose somebody cut the grass and he put it on the ground. If somebody stamps on one end, grass is like this. If somebody is stamping on this side, the other end is going like this. So a devotee shouldn't go like that also. Even if somebody is hurting you on one side, you should still be humble on the other side also. That is how he's first explaining. So it's very difficult to implement. It is so nice to talk of all these things, but it is literally very, very difficult to implement all these. He is also telling that. To discuss, it looks very simple, but practically, it is very, very difficult. To people like me, it is almost impossible, no? So let me read the explanation he gives here. He says, however, a person who utters the Mahamantra in the manner prescribed in this verse will not behave like this. That means if one side is stamped, the other side he doesn't retort. If someone steps on the head of such a person, of one who is chanting sincerely the holy names in the Trinadapi Sunichena mode, then if somebody verbally abuses him or physically attacks him, then such a person will quietly tolerate it all. He will not raise his head like the blade of grass. Trinadapi Sunichena. Lower than the blade of grass means the grass will also raise it sometime. No, on one side you stamp, the other side it may come up. But a devotee who is chanting Harinam will not give that. He will not give a sharp retort or try to seek vengeance in any form. Even a strong word also a devotee will not talk back. In any such situation of injustice, forget of actually seeking vengeance. One will never even bring up thoughts of seeking such vengeance. Physically, practically doing is other thing. One will not even think I should do something to do this fellow. How can he do this to me? Such thoughts also a devotee will not encourage. At the same time, one will not let the mind experience any sort of I'm a devotee, even though he did so much to me, he did like this to me, so I should not retort. No. Actually, a devotee does not even feel bad that he's been chastised, he's been stamped upon, he's been attacked upon. That is how the mental state of a devotee who's constantly chanting Harinam will be. He will not be disturbed actually. If you are disturbed, then you want to retort. You are not disturbed in the first place, then you don't want to retort. That idea of retorting also will not come. Only on becoming like this, will be Trinadapi Sunichena. If one is not like this, then one cannot get the complete result of uttering Harinama. So actually remember this statement because the next Acharya is actually contradicting this statement. Here, Radha Govindanada is telling one has to become like this. One has to become Trinadapi Sunichena, Taro Riva Sahishnuna. One should not even mentally think leave about counteracting. One should not even think that one has been offended. One should not even think that the other person has insulted them or chastised them, or has seen them low. One should not even think like that. Only in such condition, only in such a state of mind, can one get the complete result of uttering Harinama. So disappointing, no? So we all know, not in this lifetime, in many lifetimes to come, we will never get the result of Harinama. This is the immediate impression that most of the devotees like us will get. So he is giving another explanation of Trinadapi Sunichena. It is very difficult to think oneself of lower than grass is very difficult. In what way am I lower than a grass? So he is helping us with this thought process. He is telling a blade of grass, though extremely insignificant, its life is very successful. How? It is offering itself in service to the cows as food. The cows eat the grass. So in this way, it is of some use. It is doing go seva. It is offering itself for the cows as food. And sometimes in making houses, no, thatched houses, they are putting grass and making thatched houses, kacha houses. So it has so much of utility. It is doing go seva, it is doing Vaishnav seva. I cannot offer myself as food to the cow, and I am in no way useful to the Vaishnavas. How much of go seva and Vaishnav seva grass is doing, I am not able to do. In what way am I better than a grass? In such way, thinking in such way, one can become humble. This is the hell. This is some hint of how you should think oneself lower than a grass. Radha Govindanath Goswami is telling. So directly or indirectly, the grass is engaging in Bhagavan's service. Though I have better faculties given to me by Bhagavan, I am not engaging in the service of the Bhagavan. I am so lowly. I am lower than a grass. It is not that I am thinking I am lower than a grass. I am believing that, oh, I know, I am lower than a grass. However, I cannot render any such service to anyone in the world. So I do not have such favorability towards the service of Bhagavan also. Definitely, I am lower than the blade of grass. There is no one as lowly as me. This is how a devotee thinks of himself as even more tuchha than a blade of grass. Thus, the sadhaka considers himself lower than a blade of grass. And then compared to the tree, he should be as tolerant as a tree. We all know, no, the chandan tree example always they give. When an axe is cutting the chandan tree, the axe which is actually harming the chandan tree is also getting the fragrance of chandan. When you smell the axe, it is smelling like gandham. So that is the greatness of a tree. Even people who harm a Vaishnava will actually get some flavor, some fragrance of the wonderful qualities of a Vaishnava. So the very person who eats the fruits of the tree may actually harm the tree, but still the tree doesn't say anything to such a person. A Vaishnava should behave in a similar manner. Whether people speak low of him, chastise him, hit him, cut him, show ingratitude, still the Vaishnava doesn't say anything and he tolerates with a straight face. And see, we know Thakur Haridasa's example, no? He was actually beaten in the 22 marketplaces, but he did not become angry upon them. Actually, he actually prayed for them. He prayed to Bhagavan that all Mangala should, they do not know what they are doing. Oh Lord, be merciful to them. For their auspiciousness, for their Uddara, Haridas Thakur actually prayed for their uddhara. There may be some devotee who is actually singing very well. Then immediately they cut down that what he is singing, no more than the Harinam, he is displaying his music talents. Anyway, that is not Shuddhanam. Many people may cut down a good singer. People are envious of singers, no? So they will say, singing the holy name is more important. The tune is not important. It's okay. We can feel humble. Somebody singing more nicely, then we can hear the holy names from that also. So Prabhuji was telling that anybody is giving nice pravachan, or anybody is learning Sanskrit, or somebody is actually doing something more technically in the Lord's service. The first thing devotees do is cut them off, telling that that is not important. Actually, devotion is important. Their effort in doing a devotional activity in a better way, in a more like for example, singing by learning proper singing, or drawing by learning proper drawing. Bhakti element is there. The very fact that they are putting their efforts and learning it nicely is to use it in the service of the Lord. So one should not cut off, discourage devotees, and no, that would be an offense. So here, that is what Prabhuji was telling, Haridas Thakur's example. And then this, when people bog you down, when you try to do something nicely, or you already have some talent, and then you're trying to use it in Krishna service, and then if somebody tells, oh, it's okay, bhakti is important. If you cannot sing in a particular raga tala also, it is okay. That doesn't mean that knowing raga tala you will sing it in a wrong way. So such remarks and all, you shouldn't take it seriously. You should only take it as a indication that your focus on the bhakti element of your singing, or the bhakti element of your drawing, or the bhakti element of your pravachana should be your aim. Take that as a reminder for that, and keep yourself grounded. Do not even you may not tell it out, but even within the heart or the mind, do not harbor any ill feelings towards such chastisement. That is what Radha Govindanatha Goswami is telling. This is an example given by Prabhuji. So then this Manadena, Amanina, generally, why do we get pride when there is good birth, education, designation, by all this, Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Shribi? Because of this, we get pride. So one should understand that if all these are not used in the service of the Lord, they are of no use to you. So one shouldn't take pride in that. And then in Chetan Chaitamrita 2025, it is explained that we should see every jiva as a residing place for Sri Krishna. See, this is the verse. Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya 2025 says, Jive Sammana Dibe Jani Krishna Adhishtana. One should respect all jivas, knowing them to be the resting place of Krishna, my Krishna's house. Every living entity is the resting place of my Krishna. So my Krishna's Dharma, I respect. So that thought should always be constant in one's mind. That is, so Radha Govindanatha Goswami is very particularly stressing on remembering this, that every jiva is Krishna Adhishtana. Please remember this. Everybody should be respected. Only in this way, Hari can be always glorified, and one should glorify Hari without wasting any time. Any little time you get, you should always glorify Hari. So to explain all that he has told till now, he is telling us a story of a sadhu whom he saw. Radha Govindanatha's childhood, this Goswami's childhood, he saw one sadhu Baba. He is telling how that sadhu Baba would do his vyavahara. So this sadhu Baba, uh, he had a brilliant golden complexion, tall bodily structure, and a fixed gaze. He used to stay in one thatched hut. He had a Bala Gopala deity, and he's always serving that deity. But he will never venture out of his house doing some madhukari or getting something to serve Bala Gopala. And he would always perform his bhajana in his heart. He wouldn't expect anything from anybody. He would always be loving to everybody. So some neighbors and other devotees, out of love for him, sometimes they would bring him fruits, vegetables, or rice, or something they bring him. Whatever they bring him, he would offer to the Bala Gopala. But sometimes everybody is not bringing. No, when nobody is bringing anything, he would go out of his thatched house. A hut, in front of the hut, there were two trees, one Goa tree and one Badam tree, almond tree. So he will not hit the stones or pluck from the tree and all. Something is fallen down, he will pick up almonds or Goa that is fallen down at the tree base, wash them nicely, offer them and honor them. Sometimes he will go search below the trees. Nobody gave any donation that day. There's nothing fallen at the base of the tree. Then what he does? He will take some water, put tulsi leaves, offer that to Balagopala, and he would accept that water only as prasadam. He would remain very peaceful in happy mood. He says, I've seen personally that such a devotee, he's always behaving in this way. He's constantly performing bhajana of Hari. He's never angry with anyone. Every day you're bringing, if today you don't bring anything, what will I offer to Gopala? You don't have any respect and love for Gopala. He would never chastise anybody like that. Oh, maybe today Gopala didn't inspire anybody. Maybe today Gopala wanted to take only Tulsi water. That's all. He would always be very, very peaceful, and he would always, with genuine bhakti in the heart, he would very happy, very joyful. I have really seen such a person. I have seen a person, Trinadapi Sunichena, Sadoriva Sahishnuna, Amanina Manadena, and he's always chanting the holy names of the Lord. So it is not an impossible thing. I have seen Babaji who has done like this. I have seen a practical example of this verse. That is what Govindanath Goswami is telling. He tells this story. Um, and thus, in whatever mental state the jiva is currently, in the utterance of Harinama should certainly be done. So he's telling that, mm, so whether we are in prosperity, whether we are in deficiency, whether we are in sukha, dukkha, one should actually continuously chant the holy names. By the gradual effect of Harinama, one will achieve the above mentioned characteristics of Trinadapi Sunichena. So from the big, see, when we start off, we will definitely not have these qualities. It's been so many years we have started off, we are nowhere near these qualities. So should we not start chanting holy names until we become Trinadapi Sunichena? He says, no, no, no. You should start chanting the holy names. In the beginning of one sadhana, all these can't be seen. To reach this stage, one requires a sincere practice of sadhana bhakti. If not in the Trinadapi mood, at least in the mood of medicine, I know I have a roga and the medicine is holy names. So let me chant. Till I get the taste, I will keep chanting. Till my jaundice is gone, I will keep eating sweet candy. The day I will get the taste of sweet candy, that means my roga is reduced. In this favorable mood, but that desire that someday I want to cultivate these qualities. Some days I want to become Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Saishnuna. With that favorable mood, one has to, I want to achieve this characteristic. With this mood, he has to continue chanting the holy names. And when he achieves that mood and he chants the holy names, then he will get the results of the holy names. So Radha Govindanath concludes his commentary here. The essence of his commentary is, if one is not like this, like how? Like Trinadapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Saishnuna, Amanina Manadena, then one cannot attain one cannot get the complete result of uttering Harinama. This is his conclusion. So one has to have these qualities to attain the complete result of Harinama. So after this, the next commentator on this verse is Sri Kanupriya Goswami. He is commenting on this verse in his Nama Chintamani book. Here, uh, he starts his commentary with the statement telling, it is important to remove misconceptions around the Trinadapi Sunichena verse. So he is telling that all the devotees are having lots of misconceptions regarding the Trinadapi Sunichena verse. So by hearing we have been hearing 3-4 acharyas commentaries till now. So the feel is, oh, I have to become Trinadapi Sunichena. By my effort, I have to become humbler than a blade of grass, forbearing than a tree, and then I have to respect everybody. I shouldn't expect respect from anybody. Only then Harinama's effect will be there on me. This is what we are thinking. So Kanupriya Goswami is loudly shouting. Actually, he's telling, no, no, no. By your own effort, by your self effort, you can never achieve this. It is not by your effort that you can become Trinadapi Sunichena. It is not by your effort that you can become Tarorapi Sahishnuna. Amanina Manadena is not possible by just your endeavors. So that is what he is actually very loudly and very profoundly telling us. He is telling that the eligibility to attain these qualities is not by self-effort of the sadhaka walking on the path of the bhakti. It is not by your effort, my dear boy, my dear girl, that you will attain this. This will come, these will arise by the mercy of Sri Nama. As a result of uttering Nama, you keep uttering Nama, you keep uttering Nama, you keep uttering Nama, then one day these qualities will come to you by the mercy of Sri Nama. It is by chanting the names, by the mercy of Nama, by the mercy of the Acharyas, by the blessings of the sadhus, that you will be able to get there. You should have a desire to be Trinadapi Sunichena, Amanina, Manadena, Tarurapi Saishnuna, but you cannot get them by your endeavor. These are all qualities in Suddha Sattva. See, by your endeavor, by your own endeavor, something what you can achieve maximum is mode of goodness, because it is material. Something that is non-material, something that is beyond the material mode, something that is in Suddha Sattva, you cannot achieve with your endeavor. telling that Trinadapi Sunichena is a prerequisite for Shuddhanama is wrong. Kanupriya Goswami, actually, he differs with the other acharyas on this. He says that by telling that only by being Trinadapi Sunichena, you will get the Sri Krishna Sankirtanam effects told in the first verse. That means that verse 3 is contradicting verse 1. That is not the case. He says that these are not prerequisites. These will gradually come by the mercy of by the via medium of the holy name. You treating them as many times, actually, Hariparshad Prabhu was telling that we are stressing so much on Trinadapi Sunichena many times that we are undermining the glories of the holy names. Trinadapi Sunichena is not primary. Kirtaniya Sadahari is primary. When one continuously attempts to favorably in favorable disposition to the Lord, one keeps chanting the holy names. These characteristics will automatically rise. यस्यास्ति भक्तिर्भगवत्य किंचन सर्वैर्गुणैस्तत्र समासते सुर हराव भक्तस्य कुतो महद्गुण मनोरथेन सतिदावतो भक्. If that akinchana bhakti is there, that favorable disposition is there, and you're sincerely, continuously avoiding the nama paradas, chanting the holy names, then by the when you have this desire, the sadhus are blessing. So be it, so be it. May you become Trinadapi Sunichena. May you chant the holy names in the Amanina Manadena. Sadhus are blessing, Acharyas are blessing, Guru Maharaj is blessing, senior devotees are blessing. It's by their blessings and your favorable nature and by the chanting of the holy names that these characteristics will slowly develop. They will come. It is actually when Mahaprabhu is uttering this verse, he is actually uttering an auspicious Upadesha to everybody. You can definitely become a Vaishnava like this. He is giving us a hope. He is giving us an empowerment. He is giving us a blessing in this. It is not a Vidhi Nisheda. There is a difference between a Vidhi, Nisheda, Niyama and a Upadesha. A Vidhi Nisheda Niyama is something given by a master to a servant. It's like, if you do this, you will be benefited. If you don't this, that's all. You are gone to gutter. Not like that. A Upadesha says, if you can do it like this, it would be so good for you. This will be really beneficial for you. I want you to do this. It's more like a Saka. So Upadesha is a recommendation. Upadesha is a recommendation. It's a request. It's an instruction. It's not a Vidhi Nisheda. It's not an imposition. That is what Kanupriya Goswami is telling. So these are not obstacles in our path to devotion. Amma, I am not Trinadapi. Where can I be Manadena, Manina? I always want respect. I don't want to respect anybody. I cannot be like a grass. I don't want to be like the tree. We are all like that. Then I have no hope. These are all restrictions. I want to be a Vaishnava, but these rules are too much for me. Not in this lifetime, maybe in another 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lifetimes. But if Bhagwan does some miracle only, then I will be a Vaishnava. That kind of a feel a practicing devotee will get. It says, no, 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 please don't think like that. Kanupriya Goswami is giving us so much hope. By just uttering this verse, Mahaprabhu has given us so much of hope. It is a Mangala Vachana, Mangala Vakya that Mahaprabhu has uttered for us. They are blessings of Mahaprabhu on us. Do not turn it into a rule or regulation. It will discourage or prohibit the sadhaka. So that should be taken as a encouragement. Keep chanting the holy names, and one day you will surely become a devotee like this. And then also you continue chanting holy names, and then you will get the opportunity to serve in the prema platform. So that is a Upadesha. Actually, it is not a Vidhi or Nema. So please do not, again and again, Kanupriya Goswami is requesting. In those days also, this was there. Actually, there is a song which says that Vaishnava is telling, one person is singing, saying, I am so interested in becoming a Vaishnava, but whenever I hear the Trinadapi verse, I am so confused. So will I be a Vaishnava ever? Should I be a Vaishnava ever? This is my doubts. He's singing some contemporary song. He quotes Kanupriya Goswami, says, don't scare the sadhakas by misinterpreting the Trinadapi verse. So these qualities can't be achieved with self-effort. Because they are not born of material mode of goodness. They are qualities that are born from Suddha Sattva Bhakti. Only by the mercy of the Sri Nama, only by the via medium of Sri Nama, one can achieve this. You should remember again, it is impossible for us jivas, not with self-effort. Why they are not? Why they are not material? Why they are not material? Because they give us the um Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha, because Nama is Chaitanya Rasa. Your material endeavors are not sufficient to attain it. So to desire is good. I should have a desire. I have to be Trinadapi Sunichena. I want to be Tarurapi Saishnuna. And by bhakti, by the blessings, by mercy, by the power of the holy names, and slowly it will come. If they were to be attained by self effort, then the glories of what is it? Cheto darpanamarjanam bhava mahadavagni nirvapanam shreyakairava chandrika vitaranam vidyavadu jivanam anandambudivardhanam pratipadam purnamrita swadanam sarvatmasnapanam param vijayate trinadapi sunichena. It would have been like that. But there it is written Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. That means these are all the glories of the Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. If we are putting Trinadapi as a Vidhi and Nisheda, as a compulsory prerequisite for chanting the holy names, that means we are giving more glories to the Trinadapi Sunichena quality than the holy names. Please do not make the glories of the holy name secondary. That is what Kanupriya Goswami is telling. It gives us so much hope to hopeless chanters like me, especially. It gives so much hope. Okay, I can still chant the holy names. Someday, by the mercy of the sadhus, by the mercy of the Vaishnavas, by the blessings of all these acharyas, someday we will get at least a dint of these qualities, and maybe I will do Shuddhanam someday in some lifetime. Some hope is there. Otherwise, because it is so clear that it is so difficult to have these characteristics, then there is no use of chanting holy name. That kind of a discouragement is seen. So Kanupriya Goswami, time and again, he is telling, please do not tell it is a Nisheda. It is a Upadesha. It is a Mangala Vachya by Sri Mahaprabhu. He is benedicting us. You can be such a Vaishnava. Chant the holy name. This is the encouragement given by Mahaprabhu. So all these qualities actually mentioned in this verse are actually symptoms of Bhava Bhakti. In the Bhava Bhakti platform, these symptoms are there. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1, 3, 25, 26. Let me read the verse. These are the qualities mentioned in the Trinadapi verse that are actually there in the Bhava Bhakti stage. So this is from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1, 3, 25 and 26 verses. Kshantir avyartha kalatvam viraktirmanya shunyata आशाबंध समुत्कंठ नाम गाने सदा रुचि आसक्तिस्तद्गुणाख्याने प्रीतिस्तद्वसतिस्थले इत्यादयोनुभावस्युर् जात भावांकुरे jane. When bhava bhakti comes up in a devotee's heart, all these are there. Kshanti is being undisturbed even in disturbing situations. So Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna is denoted by Kshanti. And then Mana Shunyata is Amanina Manadena. Namagane Sadaruchi is Kirtaniya Sadahari. So here we see that all these are after effects experienced by one in whose heart the seed of Bhava Bhakti has sprouted. So it's not that first one becomes Trinadapi and then Amanina Manadena, then Kirtaniya Sadahari is coming. No. When Bhava Bhakti, the seed of Bhava Bhakti has sprouted in a devotee's heart, these are all seen simultaneously. You see that they are able to chant the holy names constantly, and you see that they are Amanina Manadena, Trinadapi Sunichena, and Taroriva Sahishnu. All these happen simultaneously. You keep on doing sadhana bhakti with in the guidance of acharyas, and slowly these qualities of Trinadapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Saishnuna, Amanina Manadena, and constant chanting of the holy names will automatically come. So this verse from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is quoted by Kanupriya Goswami here. Then this is a prerequisite symptom. So with this hope-giving quote, I will stop here. So and there's one more proof Kanupriya Goswami tells that this will happen to you also. Don't worry. Next verse he's telling Nayanam Galadashrudharaya. Nayanam Galadashrudharaya. Then what's the verse? Nayanam Galadashrudharaya. I forgot the verse.
Kantam Gadgada Ruddayagira.
Kantam Gadgada Ruddayagira. Tavanama grahane
Tulasi.
bhavishyati. That is the phrase, right? How all these are happening? All these exciting symptoms will happen by accepting your holy names. So he is telling that all these
Mm-hmm.
things will happen, all these results will come by the chanting of the holy names, by నీ నామాలు స్వీకరించడం వల్ల ఇవన్నీ జరుగుతాయి. So he is confirming, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is confirming that these will all happen by the glories of the holy names. So the manifestation of Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Saishnuna will also happen by the mercy of the holy names. So please keep hope. So that is the proof that Tavanama Grihane Bhavishyati, not by self-effort, not by self-effort. We should have a constant desire. It doesn't mean that, okay, by self-effort anyway it will not come. So I will be rash to anybody. I will not try to be humble. I will not respect anybody. I will ask everybody to respect me. No, no, no. We should keep trying, but to really attain that genuine state of humility, one needs the blessings of the sadhus, the mercy of the holy names, and it's only by the via medium of holy names can one can genuinely become humble and attain the characteristic as told in the Trinadapi Sunichena verse. So we have some hope. We still can chant the holy names, though we are very far off from the qualities described in this verse. There is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's blessings upon us. We have our Acharya's mercy on us, so we have hope. I stop here with this hopeful note for us. And in the next class, we will discuss some examples where we see that our Acharyas and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, they're actually behaving in a way contradicting to this Trinadapi Sunichena behavior. How do we understand that? And then actually, what is the correct practical application of this verse? So to be Trinadapi Sunichena, how do I go about in my practical life, in my everyday practice of bhakti? How do I implement this principle of Trinadapi Sunichena? And then for a progressing sadhaka, what does actually humility mean? What is the cornerstone of humility? And then to really become humble, one standard recommendation by all acharyas is Vriddha Seva. Serve the elderly. Elder by age, elder by knowledge, elder by realization, elder by initiation. If you can see everybody as elder to you in some way, serve the vriddhas. Serving the elderly, serving the enlightened, serving the advanced is one sure way of attaining genuine humility. We will discuss more on vriddha seva and practical humility in our upcoming class. So if I've spoken anything above my realization, whatever I heard and I could understand, I told. If there's any mistake, please correct me. And if anybody wants to add anything, please add. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, Hari Bol. Thank you
Hare
so
Krishna.
much. Very
The next class
beautifully.
has more practical things, Mataji. Kani without